guys, welcome back to the Real Southern Garden. I'm Sarah and today is Rose Garden Tour Day. So I've been waiting for the best day with the most blooms, and we're in the fall season right now, so it's always a little bit tough to gauge that. I have some that are blooming when others are not, and I'm always trying to pick the perfect time, and that's hard to do, but today is pretty good. So we're going to go and tour and just show you what is blooming. I want to tell you about my fountain back here. This is my pineapple fountain. It's my version of Charleston's beautiful pineapple fountain at Waterfront Park. I love Charleston. Talk about garden inspiration. There's nowhere in the country better, in my opinion. But when we took our first trip out there, I see that one of my roses fell down in the wind. Do you see that in this shot? You might see that. Anyway, we went out there. When we got back, I wanted like something to remind me of that fountain and the time that we spent there. So we got this little Marcelli fountain. It is made in the USA, which I love. And I've had her now for 3 years. She really doesn't take that much maintenance. I do drain her in the winter and all that good stuff just to make sure she stays perfect. But yeah, she's one of my favorite little additions to our garden. But let's go check out the roses. What a great day for a rose tour, except for the wind. It's super windy. This is Tayton right here. One of my favorite Cordis roses. You just get several shades of peach and apricot. Look at that. So pretty. And she smells good too. Yellow, peach, and apricot all rolled up in one. So pretty. Belinda's Dream, which you've heard me sing her praises. Belinda's Dream does get a little bit heavy though. I have to stake her. She's going to get pruned pretty heavily in February so that I can... Look how she looks almost like a cupped, almost like Earth Angel, but pink right now because of the rain. Definitely have to prune her to get her back in check. Then I have Peach Drift Rose. I have another variety that I unfortunately cannot remember, but it's from a big box store. I have 3 of her, and she just kind of adds color. She's a continual bloomer back here. She's also scented though, but not as heavily scented as some of my garden roses. Then we have Iceberg. And I keep all my continual blooming ones, like Iceberg is just a bloom powerhouse. I keep them up here at the very front of the rose garden bed so that I can look at them and always see some pretty flowers when the other ones are, in between blooming or taking a break. Another one of those varieties that I just can't remember that one. Then I have some Autumn Angel, Encore Azaleas. Another one in the middle that's on a different bloom cycle. Autumn Angel back there. Summer Romance is not doing anything right now. Summer Romance really doesn't bloom a ton for me, so I don't know why that is. I've heard other people say the same thing, if they grow where it's really warm. In the back, you see Savannah Sunbelt. We're going to get closer to her in a second. Then I have my Nepeta right here, which is not blooming anymore because it's fall, and it obviously knows it's fall. And then I have an Earth Angel back here. Let's see if I can get this to focus on her. Whew, that white is hard. Any kind of light color. I've got another Earth Angel back here. Maybe I can get closer to this one and just show you. So she keeps like a real nice form to her roses, almost like a peony. And she smells really great too. And then I have Sweet Mademoiselle, a new planted rose here. It's only a couple months old. It's not blooming yet. I have Agastache that we just planted. There is a tag there that the wind blew into my garden. Another Sweet Mademoiselle, not blooming yet, probably in the spring. Another Agastache. And then we have Ebb Tide. And boy, is Ebb Tide a great rose. It smells so strong, and it's such a beautiful color. I mean, look at that. This one back here is even more of a deep purple. So pretty. And then let's go see what is happening over here. So we have another Tayton or Tatton, was blooming, isn't right now. Then we have Portlandia. This one is going to be a really big shrub. It's akin to a climber, so it probably will not bloom at all until it could even be the next growing season. Climbers are notorious for that. And even though it's classified as a shrub, I know that it is very closely genetically related to a climber. Then we have Sunbelt South Africa. She's got a ton of blooms, but she isn't quite open yet, unfortunately. We have what's left of Sunbelt Plum Perfect. She was really beautiful. Then we have Blush Noisette here, an old heirloom rose from Charleston, does really well for me out here. And we have Iceberg again. And we have a German Shepherd right there in the back. Hello, buddy. Where's your friend at? Where's the girl? Where's Peachy? Oh, there she is. I see her. We have a Belinda's Dream right here. Her blooms are just so gorgeous this fall. I mean, they're so big. They're so pretty. There's another Belinda's Dream right next to her. And then we have, there's quite a few blooms on it too. I hope they'll make it before the frost. This is Sunbelt Savannah. Love her. Such a healthy hybrid tea. She smells so good. All of my roses are fragrant that I have in my garden. I don't have any that are not. Let me see if I can, well, I do take it back. I think I have, even the knockout rose that I do have is fragrant. That one has some holes in the petals. I don't know what ate that. There's one down here. The rain has got some of them a little bit heavy. Isn't that beautiful? She smells so good. Kind of a fruity scent. I don't have a ton of hybrid teas, but I'm telling you, I love this rose. It is incredible. And then here is a close-up of Belinda's Dream. Look at this. I mean, it is beautiful. And this is all in fall. These are fall blooming. Just gorgeous. So I used to work for an online rose nursery, and I would bet I have talked to some of you on the phone. I'm almost positive that I have. But anyway, one of the top questions I would get would be, what is the difference in a continual blooming rose and a repeat blooming rose? Well, I'm going to tell you, the repeat blooming rose repeat in big flushes, and they will bloom every, say, 6-7 weeks, depending on the climate and where you live. And then the continual blooming roses will always have some flowers on them the entire growing season, but they'll never have as much at one time as, say, a repeat bloomer will. So that's the difference. Then there are also once blooming roses, like Ladybanks, for example, is very popular in the South. Beautiful yellow rose, blooms once a year, usually around Mother's Day. I have one once bloomer. It's a rambler in my yard, way back in the corner. It came with the house. It's a little shabby these days and needs some work, but in general, I like roses that bloom as much as they possibly can in the growing season. So I don't have a lot of once bloomers, but if you want to commemorate a special event or birthday or time, they're pretty cool for that. But there are always exceptions to every rule. For example, I have Earth Angel in my garden. She's supposed to be a continual blooming rose, and in my garden, she's like a repeat bloomer. She really repeats in flushes, small flushes. And it kind of depends on your climate. Sometimes that will just affect how the rose behaves. And I do love the Cordis roses, though. They do really well in the South where it's humid and it's hot. They just have better disease resistance. Now, David Austins are beautiful. I have a couple of those. I just have 2 left in my garden. The variety is Molyneux or Molyneux. I can't pronounce any of the French words. Anyway, I'm going to keep her. I just have to really, really baby her. She gets a lot of black spot and it gives me a lot of trouble. But I always tell people, if there's a rose that you're really set on growing and you really want to grow it and you're willing to put in the work, go for it. Just realize that it might take a lot more work to get it looking good in your climate. Of course, make sure it's zone appropriate. That is always very important.
And now just a little quick garden blooper so you can see exactly how windy it was on this day.
Announce it. Have to really baby her. It is super windy now. Every time. I love it. Every time I film, there's like birds attacking or like the wind or anyway.
All right, guys, that was pretty funny, you have to admit. So I added this extra footage. I wanted to show you these little iceberg roses in my front flower bed, and also this bridal respirea that is blooming. This is a spring bloomer blooming right now. I sure hope if we get a frost, it doesn't hurt this plant. And then we have another little orange rose that actually came with the property that is in this little bed right here, and she is blooming as well. And then at our front gate, we have this pinky climbing rose. This is such a pretty climber, guys, and it grows so fast. And she can be grown as a climber or just as a cascading shrub like I've done. And then let's go take a look at this beautiful old heirloom rose. Well, she's heirloom to me. She's about 40 years old and she came with the property. And I'm telling you, she's a great example of, she looks a little bit wild, but sometimes the older you get, the more beautiful you are. And that's it, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope that you'll hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up so that we can see you next time right here at the Real Southern Garden. Bye.